Hey guys, I wanted to do a bit of a video tutorial on how I go about using GarageBand. Now I'm kind of new to it too. I've been using it for about roughly 2 years or so. But I just want to get some of the basics down for you guys and also explain my process in music making in general when I use GarageBand. So the first thing you do when you open GarageBand is you'll click a new project. This screen will come up, and you can choose what kind of project you want. So you can have an empty project, a keyboard collection, which is just like a bunch of synthesizers and pianos and basically key type instruments that are virtual sound. And then there's an amp collection where if you have an interface to plug in your guitar or bass guitar or any other instrument for that matter, there's synthetic synthetic amps that you can use in GarageBand. And then there's also some settings for like just straight audio, like voice. So if you plug in mics, and then you can speak into the mics, or you can plug up drums or any other instruments in that manner as well. And then there's the hip hop collection. I've actually never been through that one, but I use these two the most often. Empty project will probably bring up no inputs, but you can always add them in as you go, of course. And I will show you how that works. So to get started, let's start with the keyboard collection. So I'm just going to click choose down at the bottom right, and it's going to load up some of the keyboards that we can use to start our beats. So when we first come into it, I'm going to point out all of the little tools that we have available. Give me one moment. Slight malfunction. Okay. So yeah, when you first come into GarageBand, this is what you'll see after you load up a keyboard collection. You have a Steinway piano. It's just your standard piano with a decent amount of reverb. So you have your electric piano, and then some other like sort of old school instruments. A lot of them are old school. You have a really nice synth right here, and I'll show you how to do that. So in order to start playing these, because I know that might be one of your questions right away, you're going to want to press on Mac, obviously, Command K, and that'll bring up this little keyboard, so you can just type it in. Type in your music. So, and to adjust the octaves, you just click these arrows here and down. So sometimes some instruments don't go that low. With keyboards, it's typically okay, but like when it comes to like drums and other instruments, they only have a certain range that they can work within. Okay, that was me. I just pressed space bar, and that starts the song up. Whatever you have recorded, whether it is ready to go or not. Let me close this. Whether it's ready or not, you press space bar, and it plays through your song. That clicking noise is obviously the metronome. The metronome's right here. You can click this on or off. See, and as I play the song now, it doesn't make that tick-tock sound. You can have a count in. It was 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me start. To start the song from the beginning, you press this, and then you have a count in. So it'll count in 1 bar before it starts recording, which is very helpful. I use that all the time, especially midway within a song. Your play button does the same thing as the space bar. Your record button is to record. This is the loop. I use a lot, like a lot. So if you've ever used Fruity Loops, it's like a sequencer. It's almost like a synthetic sequencer, and you can drag this thing around per bar, and you can just make up to 4 bars at a time, or you can adjust it however you want. 2 bars, 1 bar, even half, as small as you want. and I use this to really build songs quickly, at least like flesh out a basic structure before I go back and edit some of the detailed parts. So for instance, I'll choose just a piano and I'll go Command K, and let's see, I'll just come up with something real quick. Okay, so I'll play that for one bar, I guess. I'm making this is organic on the spot. I'll just come up with something, and I'll just show you how I build out a song really quickly. Wait, no, that was wrong. I like to use like just strange keys that I'm not even used to or familiar with, because with the sequencer, the synthetic sequencer that we're using, the creativity just comes pouring out, especially after you've been doing this kind of a while. Okay, so I'll start with that. To edit that, if say I played off time, which I usually do, I'll double click the recording, and then down here you'll see that the piano grid comes up, and then I can simply just grab everything that's out of sync and just drag it to where it needs to be. Let's see, that's off by a little bit. Put that in place, stretch it out a bit. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's music. But yeah, that's for greater creativity. You can adjust how the MIDI plays out down here, and then to close this up, you can just click this pair of scissors, and that's just to edit various parts of recording. It shows up differently down here depending on what kind of a recording it is. And I'll do a video about that one later. But for now, I'll start with that, and then let's say down here, let's get that playing. So I'll loop it a couple of times, and then I'll come up with a little like a top end for it or something. Okay, and I mean, guys, this is completely random. When I'm trying to be super spontaneous in my creativity, I don't think too much about it. I'm just like, all right, let's see if I can make something completely random that I didn't even think of necessarily. It just kind of, I just threw some keys down and wanted to see what would happen. In this case, this is how I go about it. So one bar of just, I don't even know what the hell I played, and then now I'm just gonna try to do a nice harmony for that. So let's go. Okay, now let's get that playing. As random as that all is, it sounds pretty decent. Now, you'll notice that it's too loud, so these volume adjusters adjust the decibels per instrument. So, say I'm hearing that the dream voice is too loud. I'll turn that down and start from the bottom. So you could turn it completely down and then just kind of push it back in. It goes, the lowest is negative infinity, 90 decibels, negative 90 decibels, so you can bring it up to normal. And then, let's see, one of the obvious things you do in mixing is, do a pan left and right, just to break up the sound, give some space for the frequencies to resonate in their own spot. So do something like that. That usually makes it sound a lot better. Of course, you have to play with this to get a nice balance and a feel for how this works. Okay. And then one of the most interesting things about all this is that you can just bring in some kind of a beat to work with. So you'll click over here on the top right. There is this little loop browser. There are three icons. One, two, three. The first one is just a notepad. I've never used that. I don't. I have an idea of what it does, but I don't think I'll need it anytime soon. It's a loop browser, and then there's you can add media in, I guess, for like movie projects and stuff. But I usually just go to the loop browser, it's the second icon, and then I have all these cool beats that I can work with. Those are I downloaded that. I paid about $50 for that that package for that drum package. But no, there's a lot of good stuff that comes with GarageBand initially. Anyway, I just happen to like a lot of rock and metal type stuff, like Daisuke Ishwatari type music. Is what I typically make. Let's see. So let's what would be an interesting beat? So I'll just kind of I'll press spacebar to play the song, play the recording, and then just go through some beats and try to see something that'll match up. I don't know, guys. I kind of like this one. So I'm gonna drag this in. Okay, and then so yeah, I like this beat. The first beat we chose, and you just drag the beat from this right panel over here down to the bottom where it says drag Apple loops here, right there at the very bottom. There's no space. I mean, there's no like left instrumentation control panel for it. You just drag it into this empty space, and then it'll make one. So if you watch that again, I just drag it down here, see, and it says not an audible track, not an audio track. So drag it all the way down to here, and then it'll pop right in. Sometimes if you try to copy here, let's see if this will do it. If you command C, copy, and then use the cursor, put it in the spot that you want to copy it in, and make sure the track that you're copying in is selected. Command V to paste it in. Sometimes it'll actually make a whole new track. A whole new track for that instrument. I don't know why it does that, but you could just drag it up to, if you want to, anyway. You just drag it up to the same track that you want to keep and work with, and then you can close out the rest. So in this case, I'm just making 2 bars or something. Oh, we'll delete this track, so you'll right click, or what is it? It used to be, it is control click, depending on how your settings are on your mouse, and delete that track. And guys, if you don't have a right click set up on your Mac, go ahead and just go play with the settings. You can Google it, YouTube it, or whatever, and just figure out. Search how to get a right click on Mac, or just play with the settings. It's pretty intuitive. You just gotta actually enable that functionality. Okay, so let's back to our track. I'm just gonna make I'll make a full 4 bar or 16 bar situation. Let's see. So I'm gonna close this now because I don't need that anymore. Then I will expand my my looper, my synthetic sequencer, and now you see it'll play through that whole section. It's only playing the drum. It's only playing the drum part, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just copy and paste those two. Once again, you just select everything that you want to copy and paste, Command C, and then put the cursor in the right place, Command V, across the 4 bars, everything lines up, and then just play. Now say I had something over. Say I had this over here, and I'm expecting it to play. As soon as I press play, it's gonna jump back over here, no matter what, because this is on. When I turn that off, it'll play this. If I turn that back on, it'll play that over there. And it'll play through over and over. It'll keep looping that area. So you can just make sure to turn that off if you're trying to edit elsewhere in your project. So yeah, you can click this or you can click this. And you can also, say I wanted to start recording this section, you can just double click and nothing shows yet, but then as you start to drag, it'll make a new spot for you to record. And then see now, when I press play, it'll play in that spot. You can drag the whole thing over to wherever you want. Let's just make a little bit of a lead for this, just for fun. I'm just messing around. Let's see what instrument I want to use. I usually go with like the droplets. Then there's the groove pulse. Of course, I use many more instruments than just these, but like when I'm just like doing something quick and messing around, I use whatever GarageBand has available as soon as I load it up. But that's just for fun. I don't take that seriously at all. Let's see. Let's try this instrument. Yeah, I'll just do something like that, and then we'll finish up this project. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so I completely played off time like I usually do. I can close that up, but I don't have to. So I'm gonna click right here on this. What is this? It's like it's just a measurement line, really, just to keep track of the bars. Click to where you want to cut your recording, and then you'll click on the actual recording. Right click, or what is it? Control click, and you'll press split at playhead. I know I didn't like the first part too much, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete that one. Click on this, double click it, once again if you remember from earlier, and I'm gonna edit this. Sometimes when you're switching back and forth between up here and down here, it does look like some funky things, because this playhead like typically doesn't move around in sync with this one down here for some reason. Right now it is, but as things get more complicated, it stops doing that. So you'll make sure if you have any trouble down here, just click up here and then click back over here. Let's play this part of the song, just because I want to edit this to match up, to sync up with the rest of the song. Oh, okay. So as you're like playing the song and you want to edit it, this cursor will drag you along for the ride of the song. So that's just because this is selected, which is, it's for your convenience, but the awesome thing about it is that you can turn it on and off, so you don't have to be dragged along. And that one up here is separate from this one down here. So so when you're editing, you can play the song and edit at the same time. And you can toggle it on or toggle it off by, like, say it's on and I play the song. To toggle it off, you just like scroll, like left or right scroll, and it'll automatically go off. So watch. And just like that, I'll go ahead and edit this to fit in place with the rest of the song, and then we'll call it a small project. Okay, let's see. Go ahead and drag that back. The cursor there, at the very beginning, and that's my track. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and until next time, I hope this helps you.